This is Working for Progress, a podcast that connects us through conversations about how we craft our working lives and make progress. We'll be joined by our communities from Tribe Porty and Keystone. Tribe Porty is a community co-working space and creative hub. We are full of entrepreneurs, social enterprises, freelancers, charities, and SMEs. Keystone is the other social enterprise which supports women to reimagine their working lives. We do this by providing a holistic approach to business through courses, programs, mentoring, group coaching, and events.
Welcome to today's conversation. I'm Alice, the community manager at Tribe Porty.
And I'm Dani, founder and director of both Tribe Porty and Keystone.
Here at Working for Progress, we're all about connecting good people, sharing their stories, their challenges, and the progress they make for themselves and for others. We hope this podcast challenges your ways of thinking and inspires you to work for progress.
Working for Progress starts with simple pleasures, finishes in awe, and meanders through career journeys in between.
Today we welcome Dane Van Zyl. Dane is co-founder and CEO of Uku Inbound, an inbound marketing agency and HubSpot partner. Welcome, Dane.
All right.
Right, welcome, Dane.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
It's only a pleasure. It was a long walk.
I know you haven't prepared for this, so we're just going to get straight to the easy questions.
Completely wing.
Wink thanks. Okay, tell us your 5 simple pleasures.
5 simple pleasures. That wasn't in the question you sent.
Surprise.
I was like, you're acting genuinely surprised, but we did. Oh, did you leave it out?
We leave that one out.
Alice is good. We like you spontaneous. Yeah.
Tricky.
But,
Okay.
if you'd listened to the previous episodes.
I should have prepared better.
No, bless him, he's actually gone red for not knowing the answer to this.
Am I blushing?
A little bit. Honestly, off the cuff. Don't overthink it.
Okay. 5 simple pleasures. I think possibly the one that's most relevant to us is my lunches every day with Alice and the crew.
Ah,
Those are nice.
Nice.
It's part of the reason I joined. Well, it's one of the best perks of having joined Tribe is the community. But yeah, having people to talk to every day over lunch while we go on our co-working journey. That's good. Walks around Edinburgh. I mean, it's a lovely city, specifically in the sun. So the weather has been amazing. So that's been, yeah. So Siobhan and I do a walk every evening after dinner. That's good.
nice.
Yeah. And specifically the sun being out, we've seen all sorts in Leith. So
Taps off.
it's an adventure. Yeah. 3 women in a paddle pool on a sidewalk. That's classy.
I saw 2 pink paddle pools with 2 dogs in each one the other day. I'm like, okay.
I think food, I enjoy good food, so I enjoy cooking. So cooking every night, that's, sometimes it's a regular recipe, sometimes it's a bit experimental. That's good. It allows me to get out of my work brain.
Nice.
5 simple pleasures. 4, gym. I know, Dani, you're
Let's
not one
hear
for
it.
CrossFit talk, but Bob, podcast 1, episode 1.
Yeah. I don't think you spoke about CrossFit. I probably blinked it from my memory, but carry on.
About fitness and keeping his fitness level up.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Alluded to it.
yeah, it's good. I try go regularly, not every day, but regularly, 6:30 in the morning. It's good to get the day going.
Too early.
But that's good. And 5. That's a good question. Golf.
Okay.
Although
Unexpected.
love-hate relationship.
Okay.
My enthusiasm for golf outweighs my skills in golf. So
That's like me with singing.
It's like most things.
yeah, I was going to say that's not the only thing on the list, but okay, let's go with golf in terms of things I love but not good at.
Well, you're in a good place for golf, right?
Yeah, home of golf, Scotland.
golf.
Siobhan's from St Andrews, so
Okay.
I get the weird privilege of being able to be very bad at golf on historic golf courses, which really, that's quite intimidating.
I am surprised. I would not peg you for a golfer.
Yeah, I mean, it's popular in South Africa.
Yeah, okay.
So we started playing. I mean, I've been playing golf for far too long and it's still really bad, but I keep telling myself it's one of those sports. If you don't keep it up, it's not like muscle memory that you just,
Yeah.
it's a skill that if you don't
Practice
use
skilled.
it, you lose it. Definitely.
I have to say, many people don't know this about me, but I ran a golf course for a while.
What?
It was a social enterprise.
Oh, really? Of course.
Yeah, I know. I know nothing about golf, but yes, we hosted some tournaments for kids regularly, so it was nice.
That's fun. Kids playing golf, that's happiness.
Yeah.
Adults getting angry on the golf course, less happy.
Not as happy.
Not as happy.
Cool. Okay. We're going to go into the questions that you have prepared for.
I mean, haven't prepared for, haven't.
I'd love to know about your values that you live by, and that could be one or they could be many.
There are a few. This was interesting because I think off the top of it, you kind of think of general values, and I didn't want to be too generic, and I also wanted to kind of be honest with myself. So I didn't write some down here. But generally, I think 3 that definitely stand out for me are curiosity, resilience, and living with purpose. Nice. And maybe purpose, I mean intentionality. So the idea that, everything we do, just do it with, not just mindlessly wandering through life, do it with a little bit of conscious thought. So whether it's the food we eat or the clothes we wear, or even at work, like mundane things can be kind of no-brainers. But I think, trying to apply just a little bit more care with the things I do.
And does that develop over time, or do you feel like that you can trace that back to when you were younger or a child even?
I think the intentionality thing has definitely been something that's developed over time. Curiosity, not so much. I think I've always been a curious person, so always interested in how things work, how businesses work, how things are made, like how the sausage is made really interests me. So I used to watch this, like how they built this and how it's made on repeat. It was like my go-to thing to watch, understanding how, just how the world works. So curiosity has always been there. The intentionality part, probably more, it's become more important as I got older, I think. Alice would probably attest to this, but I'm not necessarily the most mature. So still, I think it's the side of me that is maturing, is understanding my impact on the planet, and in the workspace as well. And then resilience, I think, that's probably something that's also been developing. Running your own business, building your own business, and just general, like failing at life often, daily. It's, this idea of kind of pushing through and not giving up at the first hurdle. It's something that's always stuck with me.
And do you feel that those qualities play out in your own business, and can you articulate how they show up with your work?
Yeah. So, I mean, from a curiosity perspective, I know you've done this in the intro, but we run a digital agency. So naturally, to help other businesses grow, we need to be very curious about how they work, understand, not just their fundamentals about their sales and marketing, but just how the business works, and what their actual challenges are, so we can have the biggest impact. So, I think from a curiosity perspective, if you're, it's like running a co-working space or any business where you have to learn from other people before you can, kind of help other people. You have to be curious. So I definitely think that's a major part of what we do. The intentionality part, I think, again, it comes down to when you're consulting and trying to help a business unpack its challenges, you have to be very intentional with the kind of advice and strategy you give them, or the direction you point them in, knowing their limitations, and also just knowing what the capabilities of their team are versus the capabilities of our team. So being very intentional about how we structure those plans, and just, not just kind of throwing every idea at it and overwhelming the whole team. You've got to kind of just take it one step at a time and just keep it nice and steady, as opposed to going out all guns blazing. And then, resilience, if you're in marketing, anyone out there listening in marketing understands failure very well. So I think often we look at agencies and we think, you have the solution, that's why we're paying you. And I think most of the time what we don't have is the solution, but we have a process of getting there. And I think the results are different for everyone, but it's a constant chain of trying and failing, testing and failing, and then basically optimizing your way to what is hopefully the best result. So it's hard to be right day one. It's great if that happens, but every industry has its own challenges. Every business has its own dynamic. People, finances, whatever it might be, different competitive landscape. So it's not one size fits all. So definitely a lot of failure, and this idea to keep yourself motivated and the team motivated. Everyone needs a bit of resilience.
I love that, because I think so many people do think of consultants or agencies that you buy in as the quick fix one answer, but you're right, it's about resilience over time, experimenting over time, that experience building up, and you learning all that information is constantly going in, and then that helps you build the resilience and the expertise and the knowledge for going forward. I mean, that's most business, but I think you're right, in marketing it's particularly you gotta fail hard fast and then move on.
Yeah. I mean, fail hard fast is probably a good way to describe general agency life. I think too often, I mean, that's probably also the challenge. Too often we focus on short-term results as opposed to changing systems that lead to results. So it's often like you go for the glitzy stuff because we think that's what matters, but really the results aren't there because the systems aren't there or the processes aren't there. So it's about trying to kind of change that way of thinking to get to that point.
Yeah, I suppose that's the expertise you have, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we wish I could explain that to every client.
I think it's an important point, though. You're right, and I think a lot of people don't appreciate that that wealth of knowledge and the bigger picture view of looking at a challenge. There might be multiple solutions, but there's so many moving parts to it as well, and the more you do it, the more you understand the complexities of all that. At the same time. I
mean, I think digital inherently is very it can be very surface level and very like, let's get quick results, let's make changes quick, because it's digital. It's not the same as like printing a poster or putting up a billboard. Those things can't change that quickly. Where if you're running a digital ad campaign, that can change overnight,
of course, but
it's got to be, there's just more thinking to it. It's not just about the ad, right? It's the way that ad fits in the whole kind of, I guess, customer journey. So I think it's definitely a mindset shift that is coming more and more prevalent. This idea that there aren't really any quick wins, and you can't really hack your way to results.
And how long have you been doing this particular role? When did you set up your company?
We started, my brother and I'm an identical twin. We started Uku in 2016, so kind of January 2016.
Okay.
So we've been doing it for a while now. It's 2023.
Yeah.
So we've been on this journey for a long time. But we've been working together, for forever. So we've had every job together our whole lives.
Together. I love that.
Literally together.
Okay.
It's such a twin thing. Yeah. So Uku, we've been working on this since 2016.
And where did the name come from, Uku?
So we started a company in 2011 when we were living in China called the Light Bulb Bunker. We were young, 23. So we're like, we just, we loved this idea of like light being a bit of an innovator, and but we wanted something African. So it comes from a Zulu word called ukukanya, which means light. And our clients, we have clients in Asia and America and across Europe, and they can't say ukukanya so well, so we just changed it to Uku, and the inbound part is the kind of marketing we do. So Uku Inbound is the name.
I love that. Speaking of random jobs you've done together, what is your most random or maybe worst job, whatever you want to speak to?
Well, I've got both.
Okay.
And they're not I've got one for random.
I'd love to hear them both. It's fine. And
one for bad. So random, some context. Siobhan, my wife, is a voice actor, and she's very good at it. She works for, a big animation house in China and dubs these Chinese cartoons into English, and so good at it. And she got a gig with a animation company on YouTube just to do, quick little 5-minute videos, and they needed a male voice, and she made me record something and then asked me to get involved. For some reason they liked what I did, but I'm not a talented voice actor. I have no accents. Like, I can't do voices. And I was always like a king or a prince in these kids. It was really bad. I mean,
I really want to hear one of these.
I do too. Oh, please let's stick that up.
They did quite well. It's just like like an Israeli animation company. They did quite well in terms of lots of views, but I think the acting, it's like very low quality. Like, when all the professionals come in, you can hear the voices, and then my voice was a little cringy.
I love that.
Well, you know, we managed to pay for a trip to Argentina, you know, based on that. So I was
More
like,
of that.
why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I took it, but they didn't invite me back after one season. So I guess that was the beginning and the end of my random voice acting career.
Next time you tell that story, I want you to tell it differently. I played a king so well, it afforded me a trip to Argentina with my wife.
Yeah, that's the way to phrase it.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it just to give you a context of how bad it was, like Siobhan, who's a very patient woman, she could eventually not be there in the booth with me while I was recording because she's like, you're butchering this so hard.
Can you give us a line? Can you remember any?
No, it was more like the accent. So I had to do like a posh king accent. I mean, Alice, you know my voices. They're like, it was like, good day, I'm the king. It was just, yeah, I mean, cringy for sure. But everything was the same. Like my tone was the same. All bad. Just
this
bad.
Is really important information to have. Thank you for sharing.
I'm just getting very vulnerable, guys.
You are,
so
yes.
don't use it against
I
me.
appreciate it. Okay, no promises.
And then in terms of worst jobs, waitering. I think waitering requires a skill that I don't have. So when I was a teenager, I used to wait at a chain called Mug and Bean. It's like a coffee, breakfast, brunch spot. And I mean, routinely would forget to put orders through, routinely messed hot tea on people. I mean, more than once. And yeah, I mean, there was one 8-hour shift where I made 80 Rand for 8 hours work. That's like £4.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, I was bad, but I also blame the job for underpaying.
What age was this?
What age? About 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of like my first job.
Okay.
I really wasn't focused.
Did you have a job after that?
No, I decided to just stick with schoolwork for a while. It was probably safer for me and the general public. So yeah, but that was an eye-opening experience. I thought work's probably not for me.
Did you write off all work from that?
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna.
No.
Nah, it's just a hard pass.
Pass on work, thank you.
Yeah.
Good to hear about your working life journey. So maybe your biggest risk that you've taken to date.
I'm going to try to give you the short version of this. I asked Siobhan for advice on this question, and she said, your whole career.
Oh, really?
I thought,
that's interesting.
Wow. Okay. I'm not sure it was all that risky. But for context, so Nathan and I, when we were 16 or 17, we read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And we decided that what we're going to do is we're going to study complementary degrees, and we're going to start a business together. So he went into business and finance, and I went into like business and entrepreneurship. And then from there, throughout university, we had some projects going, and then, we obviously went into business together after that. But to try and cut a long story short, we were working on our first startup that we had started in Taiwan in 2011. And it was probably 2013 at this stage. And we were back in South Africa living at home because we couldn't afford to live anywhere else because we were broke, bootstrapping entrepreneurs.
Sure.
So we were living at home, and my mom was working at a home decor company. And the company got a contract with South Africa's largest retailer, kind of like a Walmart type company. Uh-huh. But the company she was working for got a contract for window blinds. And then the company folded. And somehow my mom persuaded the buyer at this large retailer to give her and her new business the contract. So she got this contract for this massive, it's like 70 stores countrywide. And they now needed to figure out how to supply blinds and do all that kind of thing. And my mom's very handy. She makes her own curtains, table runners, cushions, does the upholstery stuff. She's like very crafty. But from a business perspective, she needed a little help. So she thought those two guys that are leeching off me in the back there, starting their own business, they can come and help me out a little bit. So Nathan and I got involved. And I think that first year was pretty tricky. We were trying to, finding suppliers, figuring out logistics. Like we had like no money to try and supply all these stores, going around the country, literally countrywide, top and tail, trying to go to the different stores and do training. And we were a little bit run off our feet. And then by some miracle, after the first year, they came back to us and said, you're supplying us with made-to-measure blinds, but we want ready-made blinds. So made-to-measure is like when you go in and you order window blinds custom for each window,
Sure.
and it's made locally. And there's like a 2-week lead time, and you get your blinds and they fit perfectly. The ready-made stuff you buy in bulk from China in standard sizes and standard colors. So they gave us this order that was worth over £100,000 if I did the conversion. Yeah, it was about 3 million rand. So it was more money than way more money than we had. And we spent a lot of time, probably six or 7 months, trying to find financing. We went to the banks, we went to private financiers, we went to our friends' parents who ran their own businesses that we knew were a little bit more wealthy. The friends, to their credit, I think we managed to raise about £10,000 from them. And our last resort was my dad. So, we come from a middle-class family, so it's not like my parents had £100,000 lying around. But we managed to convince my dad that we're going to remortgage the family home and then import several, over £100,000 worth of blinds from China. So, yeah, to my dad's credit, he either loved us a lot or he had some sort of faith in us. But I think it was more blind love and thinking, well,
blind love.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably something only a parent would do, make such a risky financial move. But yeah, he gave us the just over £100,000 that we needed. And Nate and I went to China and we found a supplier, and it took us about 5 months to go through the process of getting the blinds manufactured and transported to South Africa. When we were in China, we were literally living in the factory. We were just so afraid of like something going wrong, being scammed. It's first time business, 24-year-olds in China trying to bring in what seemed like an astronomical amount of blinds and so much money on the line. But yeah, to everyone's credit, everyone, played their part. So it worked out fine. We paid my dad back.
That is the sweetest startup story I've ever heard in my life. Were your parents together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So whole family,
everything was on the
line for you two 23-year-olds to not mess up and lose £100,000.
Just over. Yeah. No, it was scary.
That is a sink or swim situation of quick business savvy, right? You did well. You guys did amazing.
There's nothing like a little pressure to get some 23-year-olds to work.
So what did that lead to then after that experience? And how long did that take to, I guess, get you out of the red and see that you were good at this? Yeah,
I think that this kind of process is always an evolving process of like building a business. It wasn't quite like once that first shipment had landed, we had made it and then everything is fine.
Sure.
We had made just enough to pay my dad back and then go back to two finances that we had already been to and said, okay, well, you said that we did the first round. We've proven that we can do it. Please help us. And to their credit, they did help us. And I think at the end of the day, that business is not the business I'm in today. And that's also because of the way that, we were working on that business, trying to get in the blinds, trying to sell the blinds, but it's so much more complicated than just landing a shipment of product. Mm-hmm. The marketing and sales expertise we needed and the number of people we needed to service that many stores, like we bit too much off that from the start. Never mind just getting the blinds through and not losing the family house. It was a much bigger challenge than we were resourced to kind of tackle. So that business came to a natural end probably 3 years later, but it was a very interesting learning process. And Nate and I learned a lot. We also learned that we can kind of rely on each other. And through that process, that's how Uku was born. So, I think every step you take, kind of there's new doors that open along the way. So yeah, if I've learned anything is that you can always ask your parents for money. In my very lucky situation. And yeah, I think, backing yourself, I think we learned to just rely on ourselves to know that we would do the work. Because, I think there's this saying, you can't learn to ride a bicycle in a seminar. And that's always stuck with me. I like that idea of, even though we went to business school, we weren't quite prepared for the challenge we were going to take on, and our kind of naivety led us to take on a much bigger risk than we should have probably taken on. But, it all works out in the end with the right support and, the right amount of work and quite a lot of dumb luck, I think.
Well, and a lot of learning.
Yeah.
And I take it, because your mom's obviously a bit entrepreneurial.
Yes.
I mean, she's a risk taker.
Yeah.
Is your dad as well? Is it in the family?
Yeah, they're both. So my parents are both like very crafty. My dad's a woodworker and my mom's very good with sewing and painting and embroidery. So they even if it was just a small business, they would do these flea markets where they would make children's teepees, buy the wood, sand it, stain it. My mom would sew all these different patterns like Toy Story, and
cool.
So they always had that market thing going on next to their like normal jobs. So they've always been doing something. And then my mom had a curtain business going on, and she eventually got into that decor company. But and both my parents have always had, I want to say, little side hustles, as our millennial and Gen Z generation would call it. They would just call it work.
But obviously creative thinkers as well, which obviously you and your brother, that's part of what you do, is about that creative thinking. Yeah,
no, definitely. I think we've definitely learned a lot from them, and this process of, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
I mean, when Nathan and I when we were starting our first business, KIF. KIF is like South African slang for cool.
Okay.
Like, so it's like surfer, like SoCal slang, but from Durban. So they were like, oh, that's KIF, bro. Like, that's cool.
Okay.
So it was like an e-commerce store for kind of independent brands for guys, so like all the cool stuff, quirky wallets and, cool handmade shoes and from Colorado, and, bags from France and made from recycled plastic bottles,
cool.
That kind of thing.
KIF,
yeah. Yeah, that's it. Well done, Dani.
Thanks, that was quick.
Yeah, but when we were doing that to make some side hustle money, because we were so poor, Nathan started selling brownies at the markets that my parents were doing, and then we eventually
normal brownies.
No, normal brownies.
Okay.
So little chocolate brownies. So in Taiwan, we had a Kiwi roommate, and he made the most delicious brownie. It's like his family's secret recipe, and Nate by chance managed. I think it's because we were in South Africa. He was like, "Fine, it's not. You're not going to go big. It's all right. So you can have the recipe." So he started doing that just to kind of help us pay the bills, and then we transitioned that into like a little pizza stand, and we would do like 100 pizzas in 4 hours. It was mental, and we'd like row people in, and then at the end of the day, we'd just drink beer. Once we were all sold out because we were so knackered, and we'd drink all the profits away, and then next week Saturday try again. So yeah, I think it's been part of that process of, they've normalized. My parents at least normalized that idea of, it's okay to kind of go and try something.
Yeah.
Create a product here, create a product there. Try this, try that.
I love that you and Nathan like collectively thought, right, we could be more powerful if we divide and conquer. I'm gonna go do this. You're gonna go do this. We're gonna come together. We're gonna try all these things and learn together. And you're still working together.
Yeah, I mean, and
for the
most part, he still mostly leads the finance stuff in the business, and I still lead most of the strategy. So I mean, I think we play our parts. But I think the biggest thing is trust.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to build business relationships not based on solid trust, because when the hard times come, which they inevitably do in every business, you need to be able to rely on the person that you're working with. And I think for us, that's probably been the biggest gift.
Have you ever fallen out?
All the time. No, all the time. But I think that just comes across as, one, it could be pressure, but two, it's also, we're able to share our different opinions. It's also good to have that, I guess, different opinions on how we see the business growth. But I think we both want the same thing, which is technically just the best for each other. So, if you have that mutual ground, you can't really go wrong. It's kind of like a marriage.
Is it hard being in a different country to him?
Yeah, I mean, I think space is good for us because we do.
You're still working together every day.
Yeah, I mean, we call each other every day. So it's a lot. Literally yesterday, he said, the thing I worry about most is my wife. The second thing I worry about most is you. So
that's nice.
Yeah. So I think it's good to have a little bit of space and develop. And, I think it's hard for our wives. These two people that, Siobhan I often speak in the language of we. Mm-hmm. We do this because that's been my whole life. It's always been a we, never an I.
Yeah. And
so sometimes Siobhan's like, do you mean we as me and you, or we, you and Nathan? which we are you referring to?
And usually is it you and Nathan?
It really depends, but often it's me and Nathan. But yeah, so it's good for us to have a little bit of space and kind of develop separately, and kind of express ourselves separately.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to fall into like an old rut where kind of same with marriage. You know, one partner takes up the slack in this area, and the other does the slack in this area, and it's good to be a little bit more well-rounded as an individual.
I love that. Have you listened to any of Esther Perel's podcasts around work colleagues?
No, I haven't.
It's so good. Where Do We Begin, it's called, but she usually does couples, but she did a few with work colleagues because it's a relationship.
Yeah.
I don't think we talk about it that much, and I think even more so for your brother and you, like what a relationship that is, and it still takes work and thought and effort and considerations, and there's so much happening. Again, we don't talk about that much, and we see the people we work with more than our partners sometimes, or our other significant others.
Yeah, I mean, even here at Tribe, we're here 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important. And I mean, sometimes it depends on what that relationship is like, but specifically as co-founders, it's very important to kind of work on that relationship. I mean, I'm pro even couples counseling for founders, because it's really difficult. That's
kind of what this is. I agree. I think, who does that? I don't know anybody that does that.
Yeah.
Do you know colleagues that go to counseling?
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Nathan and I would be predisposed to it because we're already brothers, so it would filter into more than just work therapy. But I could definitely see the benefits of it, because there is also a lot that's unspoken that kind of bubbles up. And yeah, I mean, if you deal with it now or deal with it later, eventually you're gonna deal with it.
And it's an opportunity for growth for yourself, isn't it? It's more understanding about how you operate, why you do the things that you do.
Yeah.
What you want to change, how you can get there, how that other person can help you get there.
Yeah, that's true. And I think with family, there was a lot of people say you shouldn't go into business with family. But I think if you're able to get over that, there is a kind of informalness about working with family, that if you can get over that in the sense of being able to give them the same respect you would give a normal colleague. Family is probably the best people to be in business with, because naturally you all just want the best for each other, and I think that baseline, some
you might be privileged.
Yeah, I mean, but for the most part, there's more incentive than just financial, to have each other's backs. At least that's the way I was raised.
Again, I love that. That is really beautiful. I don't think that's
the case for everyone. Maybe.
Really beautiful family. Love to hear about a time you felt a sense of awe, or when you feel like you find your state of flow.
Yeah.
Or you can talk about both, or one.
Well, I must say, so you both know that we are currently 24 weeks pregnant. Mm-hmm. And from an awe perspective, sometimes, I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes everyday things just blow my mind. And pregnancy has been one of those things. People around me have been pregnant. I mean, my mother was pregnant.
Yes, she was.
I never.
With two.
I have a brother that's 10 years younger than me, so I remember when she was pregnant with him, and it never. I just was too young to understand, or maybe the responsibility wasn't on my shoulders, so I was less invested. But now that my wife is pregnant, it feels like witchcraft.
Yeah.
Magic. Like the way a female's body develops and changes to grow another human inside them, it feels out of this world and constantly blows my mind. Every time we go for a scan, I'm like, what is happening?
How is this happening?
How? This is magic, and now to see him kick and her actual stomach move, it's just crazy. So yeah, I'm in complete awe of the female body and this thing that we call life. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm obsessed with it in a way that I didn't think I would be. I'm constantly blown away by everything related to the pregnancy. Yeah, so it's been an exciting journey, but in complete awe. My body feels lacking in comparison. I'm like, you won't change. Well, I'll get fatter, but that's probably about it.
It is. I mean, even as a woman who's had 2 kids, I still get blown away by the magic of it.
And just to finish up, can you tell us about anything you're working on at the moment that you're excited about, or have you got anything in the future?
Yeah, well, so whenever we acquire new clients, it's very exciting. But we're actually working with a new agency out of Italy. They're a bit bigger than us, and we're setting up a new partnership in South Africa. So that's always exciting. Partnerships, as we already discussed, can be tricky, but they bring a level of expertise that we don't necessarily have inherently, and I think it's a great learning opportunity. Like for us, building the businesses that we've built and failing so often, I think the one thing that stood out to me is the lack of active mentors that we've had.
No, it is exciting. It's an opportunity to learn new things and, I suppose expand in different ways that you wouldn't if it was just the two of you. Is there more than two of you?
There's 4 of us.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, I think learning from others is, I think, crucial. And naturally, when you a consultant, you're supposed to kind of always go in with the answers or next steps. And we learn a lot from our clients from their own businesses, but being able to partner with people who are there, the guys are 10, 15 years older than us. So they've been down this track for a long time. And I think that's really exciting.
Oh, amazing. Good luck with that. That sounds exciting.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having come and taking your time today and telling us all your vulnerable details.
My vulnerable details. Don't make me do any voices. Words. Don't make me do words.
Don't make me do words, please. Anyways,
Thanks so much to Dane for joining us today. To find out more about Dane, you can find all of his links in our bio. To hear more about Tribe Porty and Keystone, you can find us on all social media platforms. Please head over to our website and subscribe to our newsletters, which includes monthly blogs to provide helpful insights into how we craft our work in life. This has been Work in Progress. We hope you join us again.